So I'm gonna attempt this question in front of you guys.
So usually I would just begin with like my thumbnail sketch. So yeah, I'll just draw it big so that you guys can see. I wouldn't usually draw it this big. I would draw it like in the side, kind of like that big, like that, and I'll like draw whatever I want. I'll draw it big so that you guys can understand what I'm drawing. Okay. Um, okay, so I'm thinking, how about it is from the mother's POV, right? Not POV, like the mother is in the foreground. Like she is maybe trying to figure out where the jar of cookies are. And she's like searching. She's like reaching her arm out, opening the shelves and searching for the cookies. This is like a top view, almost. And then this is the door, right? And the cousins, they're like looking at her. There are like three of them because plural, right? And they're looking at her, and one of them has the jar like that. Then maybe there's a carpet, and we need to show that it's a kitchen. So this is a kitchen counter, imagine. I'll draw even more counters here, like that. And then maybe like a chimney thingy, and then a stove, and the spoons and the ladles and everything. Then maybe some container thingies. Um, yeah, something like that. This is a composition. And over here, how would I decide the value? I would just shade it like this. I want the mother to be a lot darker than the background. Even these could be just as dark. But the background, this can be second dark, and this should be lighter. But not too light because they're also important, right? And the background will be very light. Kind of like that. And then I'll add details of the flooring. You don't have to draw all this for a thumbnail sketch. I'm just drawing it just in case. So now that I look at it, I'm just like, the mother can be a bit more detailed and darker so that she's visible. Right? This part as well. I'm just like, now I got a value scale. I can kind of tell how much darker or how much contrast I need to build for my composition. This is kind of how you lay it out. So when you're shading, you will always reference your thumbnail sketch so that you can get an idea of how much you need to build up your shading. Okay? Now let's get to the actual composition. Okay, wait. I also will attempt a few more ideas because I'm just like, yeah, this layout is good, but what if I want to try something different? So I'll just do this. And this time, maybe I'll use the three kids as the main thingy. So it's like, this is the doorway. And then maybe the eldest child is Sarah. And she is like seeing if her mother is gonna find them or something. So she's like peeking out. And her cousins are right behind her. And they're also trying to see, but like they're behind her, right? And there's a smaller dude over here, and he's eating the cookies already. He's not even sharing it. And this guy is asking the little one to be quiet because he's a loud chewer. He's looking at him and he's kind of angry. It's like, shush, or something like that. This guy is just happily eating. Okay. And then we can see the mother in the kitchen. So I'll just make the environment first. The kitchen. Wait. I think that is too high. These kids feel really small. I'll just build it up like that. Okay. Yeah, that's better. And the mother is like, oh my god, where are the cookies? Or something. Okay. And she's opening up drawers and trying to see where the cookies are. Not that tall. That. And then they're over here laughing about it, right? So, and we'll add the elements of the kitchen to it. Like there's something cooking here, there's a lot of pots and maybe a rice cooker, the ladles and spoons and everything. Maybe there's a chimney over here, something like that. Stuff on top of the shelf, anything. Okay. And after I'm done with this, I'll build up the value scales. Now that these guys are in front, they have to be a lot more darker and more prominent than the rest. So I'll just do so accordingly. And the background can be a bit more lighter. Okay. So this is how you kind of decide how you would want to approach the value as well as the composition. So over here, if you can notice, I follow the rule of thirds. Basically, if you divide the canvas equally, right? One point is almost where the mother is, and the other is where the oldest cousin is. So you can kind of see how we implement things. Like I did not think too hard about using the rule of thirds in this. I just did what I wanted to, and I thought it looked good. So that's why I chose this, right? But look, it's following the rule of thirds, so you can see how it works. Same thing could be said here, right? Like if I divide the thingy, right? She is following these 2 points, and they are about where the point is. This point is, right? So they're following the rule of thirds. And I did not, once again, I'm telling you, I did not think too hard about, oh, am I following the rule of thirds or something? It just happens because our eyes are generally trained in a way that it can figure out compositions without needing much technical knowledge. Okay. So I have these 2 compositions. If I had time, I would have attempted like one more, right? But then I'm just gonna show you this. Okay, this is like me jumping into an actual UCEED question because I had a plan in mind, which was the second one, but now I'm like, I have to do the first one. It's fine. It's fine. We all have to do it, right? Okay. I'll just. I hope the canvas is clear. I don't think it is it? Something like this, I'm guessing. I need to get back to this. It's a lot longer. So in your exams, they'll give you
Are you
predefined.
struggling to find good quality UCEED mocks and tired of solving the same past years again and again? And कोई reality check नहीं मिल रहा है कि progress किस level पर है अभी? I've got the best solution for you, which is Divergent UCEED mocks, designed by UCEED toppers. If you purchase Divergent UCEED mocks right now, you will be getting 12 plus UCEED mocks with the same exam interface. Part B reviews by toppers, detailed progress report, comprehensive leaderboard, and a private community to share all your doubts and get reviews 24/7. And सबसे important, we have 2 hour detailed sessions for part A and part B discussions individually, जिसके अंदर toppers show you which trick to use in which question, how to score maximum marks in part B, which strategy you could have used. They also show you what they would have drawn live, so you can score maximum marks in UCEED 2025. And you know what? You're getting all this for just rupees 3000. So what are you waiting for? Get guidance by UCEED toppers live. Enroll now on www.divergentclasses.com. उसके अलावा you can also message me on WhatsApp in the number linked down below. Thank you.
Canvases, as in you can't change the size of it. If you do change the size of it, then they'll probably lower your marks because they want 80% of the page to be filled, like space to be filled. So try to not customize your own size. So whenever you make the thumbnail sketch, just make it in the similar size as the space that they've given, okay? Don't just do a random whatever shapes that you want, because you won't be able to get the same effect in the actual composition, like in the actual space they've given. All right. So in the other one, there was a mother. She was here. She was looking up. She was like, oh my God, my cookies. And this is actually a good composition because I can show her emotion, right? I can show her puzzlement. But if it were the other one, I think it would be slightly difficult to show her puzzled. I gotta show it with her whole body, which I don't think it would be really ideal. So yeah, you guys are good at choosing compositions. Okay, so this thing is open. She's opening the door. And she's reaching in, maybe. Maybe her hands are on her hips, but you can't really. Shall we make it in the box? If not, should we make it on the same page or should we make it on the rough page? Oh, no, don't make it in the box, okay? Don't make the rough sketch, the thumbnail sketches in the box. Make it, they'll provide you a rough page, so always do it in that. For UCEED, the rough page was behind every question. So yeah, there, okay? I don't think you are allowed to do this. Once you see the question paper, you'll see that they've given a lot of space for rough work, so you use it there, okay? All right. Then over here, what was my thumbnail sketch? Okay, so there was this doorway. I'll bring it a bit closer, kind of like that. That. And then, see, I know that I'm going to get questions as to how I figured out the perspective. It's just because I've been doing this for a while that I'm able to figure out the perspective already. But it would be advised for you guys to plot the points. If I have to plot the points, it would be kind of like, this is sort of a, there's multiple perspectives here actually. There's one point that is going over there, and then there's another point over here. So 2 point basically. All right. Are you sure you guys are not able to hear the screaming? Because there's this party going on downstairs and I can hear it very well. They're playing some Punjabi music, I think. All right. No, it's not audible, thank God. All right. So the cousins are over here and they're like peeping in. They have their hand on the wall because that's a very peepy sort of a pose. I did not see that. Okay. They're like peeping in, and then, oh, maybe the taller one can be over here. Looking over here like that. And then there's a smaller dude. He doesn't know how to hide properly. He's like out in the open, ready to get caught. Like something like that. And then he's holding the jar of cookies. I don't think he can hold the entire jar using his hand, so it'll be he'll be wrapping the jar around his arm. Kind of like that. That's cute, right? All right, and then he'll be eating a cookie. Kind of like that. Okay. Yeah. And the background, because it is too obvious that if I don't do anything behind, it might be too noticeable. So I'll just add like anything over there. Maybe there's a TV, something like a living area, and then there are couches. Not too much detail, just roughly. There's a plant over here, a window, something like that. Okay, and a carpet. That's it. That's enough. Nothing much. Okay. I think the TV is too low, technically. Okay, I'll just fix that later. And then I want to build the counter over here as well. And then like that. And then I'll take it all the way to there. Yeah. And then a top shelf. All right. Maybe there's a refrigerator over here. Like those refrigerators with the freezer on top and everything. And then there are utensils. Maybe the wash base. The basin is over here, maybe. No, actually, I want the stove to be here. And no, actually, what was in the thumbnail sketch? Oh yeah, the chimney and the stove are over here. That's better, honestly. This is why we need thumbnail sketches, dude. Because when we build in a smaller area, we have more control over how the composition should look and what's better for the composition. When it's a lot bigger, your eyes are traveling really in a longer distance. You can't really see the picture as a whole. So you kind of get really confused regarding.
I'm just adding the hair details and her neck. That's her neck. And that's her tali. I don't know how talis look like in Hindu weddings.
I want the door to open over to that side. Yeah, I think that would be better. Okay. Yeah. So, and over here, maybe it's the wash base. So she has a lot of utensils because these people eat a lot and nobody helps her with cleaning. So she has to do all the work on her own. So there's glasses sticking out and everything. And then there's a rice cooker over here. Maybe there's this. Oh, or maybe I want to add like a mixer grinder over here instead. Like that. See, be a bit more experimental with what you add because don't always stick to just some random utensils and stuff. Like mixers, you find it all over your kitchen, right? Not all over, but like you find it in every kitchen, right? And maybe microwaves even. You could add a microwave. And chimneys and all those interesting details which you could add, no issues. I'll extend this a bit. Maybe the kitchen ends here. And then there's a whole rack of ladles and everything. And then, oh yeah, I think I wanted to put a dustbin here, but I don't think there's space for dustbins. That's fine. Like this. What do you find next to your stoves? You find like the lighter thingy, maybe it's kept in a little container, a lot of spoons and all. Then you find spices so that your mother or father, whoever cooks in your household, can find the ingredients easily, right? Like a lot of ingredients scattered here and there. Maybe plates as well. I have plates lying around near my stove in my house. Okay. And, in the fridge, let's add a bit more personality. Let's not leave it as such. Oh, first of all, it needs handles. How could I forget about the handles? There, I added handles. Now, you know how, like, in households with little kids, exactly, some refrigerator magnets. How nice. We all thought of the same thing, right? It's kind of nice. We all, like, see certain to-do lists and everything. And maybe like magnets and papers and drawings that the kids made that the mother stuck to the fridge, something like that. Then Then what else? You know, over in Kerala, we have this thing called puttu, and it's basically steamed rice flour. It's a very simple dish, but it's really nice. And they use a specific type of cooking vessel that kind of looks like that. It kind of looks like a tower.
Puttu.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, it gives me memories. I have not been home in a. Okay, actually, I have, but then I couldn't stay that long, so I'm kind of homesick. Okay, so that's kind of what we have for now. All right, this is a sketch. Now, if I want to, I'll just add a bit more detail to the mother. She's like looking up. And she's like shocked, so her eyeballs would probably not touch the sort of. No, she's not looking up, I feel. But then we'll correct that, don't worry. She's like shocked, oh my god. She's like, oh my god, where are the stuff? Where's my cookies? Right now, I'm not adding a lot of details to her face. I'm just gonna like, she looks happy for some reason. I'll change that up. And she's a bit like irritated because she would obviously know who the culprit is, right? So she's like, how dare they? But she's still kind of wondering, like, who could have taken it, right? And a typical mommy hairstyle. She is wearing a kurti. And she's like checking out. And her wedding thingy, the tali. Oh yeah, I did say that her hands are gonna be on her hips, so she's like that. It's not visible, but like at least let it be there for nothing else other than just my personal satisfaction. And she's like, what the hell? There is the stuff. Yeah, so, and I also want to add a carpet because I feel like kitchens have carpets. Mine does. All right. So this is basically the sort of sketch, okay? Now I'm gonna lightly erase it. Whenever you attempt the exam thingy, drawing questions, I want you guys to have very light sketches. Right now, I tell this in every class, but I'm just saying it again just in case. Right now, I did it really sort of dark so that you guys can see what I was doing. All right. Now let's go over this. Okay. Let's just. I'll start with the main subject, which is the mother, and she's shocked. So I'll just. We don't want our characters to look too cartoony. Because they wanna know how much you know about realistic proportions before you get cartoonish with your anatomy, right? And don't already. It can allow to use an exam. Okay, the thing I'm guessing you're talking about the mechanical pencil. So the mechanical pencil, they first stopped me when I was about to enter with those, but then I was like, it's not even actual metal. I don't think. I mean, even if it is, it's just a mechanical pencil, and a lot of people carry them. But this specific mechanical pencil just kind of looks a bit scary. So I guess they stopped me. But then I got to do it. But just in case, do carry regular pencils with you of good quality so that you have a backup. Okay? Her nose and her lips. She's like, oh my god, no, not again. I told him not to take it. This is the condition when we have our cousins over, I feel. I mean, not my not my cousins. I haven't seen them in years. They're abroad. But the time they were here, we used to do a lot of antics like this. We used to steal jaggery and eat it raw because we used to like it a lot. I'm surprised we don't have diabetes already because we used to eat so much. And I'm guessing the mother is a very tired parent, so she would have like stray away hair, like just okay. So then I need to draw a mixer grinder, so I'll just do that. And I don't really know how mixer grinders look like. That is not a good thing. But I kind of have an idea as to how they look like. So I'll just draw according to my idea. There's a little razor inside. I'm not going to waste time on that. And this top lid is something that all mothers have to put their hands on top of every time they switch on the mixer grinder for some reason. Even though that concept of it flying off while it's mixing it does not happen any longer. Technology has evolved, right? But still, they have a habitual action of doing that. All right. That's a mixie. And then I did say that there's a sink here, right? So I can still, I don't know, I don't think it's visible for you guys, but I can see the sketch lines. So I'll just draw the utensils and everything. There are bowls and what else do you think you'll find inside your basin? I'll add all of that stuff. A lot of glasses because we all are lazy to even wash glasses. Then like spoons maybe. They're sticking out. And what else? Maybe those Chinawares with the handles like that. Then what else? Maybe I'll add like a cooker. But then the cooker won't be that visible, but like it's still a cooker. If you have an idea as to what you're drawing, even though the entire subject is not in the frame, it will still give it enough detail that it looks convincing. Like this cooker. Okay. So now, yeah, I think that's enough utensils for her to wash. I feel bad for her. All right. And then that's a sink. Oh, okay. The frame is going a bit down. Like that. So I can extend this down as well. You won't have this issue that I'm facing right now because obviously you would have the borders of the canvas pre-drawn, so don't worry about this. All right. Now let's draw the fridge. You know, some fridges, they put like a cloth over the handle. You guys might do that in your households so that they can just pull on it and and open the refrigerator maybe. And even refrigerators also have these tiny little locks, right? So maybe I'll add that kind of like there. And then the magnets, yeah. Pressure sensitivity looks much darker for a 2B. Exactly, like I really like that. They say it's a 2B, but then it looks really dark. Either way, I like it. It smudges, of course, but then I feel like compared to a lot of the stuff that I've used, I like this a lot better. It doesn't have to be this, guys. Like, try to find what works for you. This works for me, but it might not work for everybody else. I also used art line pencils, but honestly, those don't matter. Like, as long as it's a good quality, decent pencil, the rest is according to our skill, and that's where the issue lies. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So that's the fridge. See, we're like coming to the main part. Now I'll draw the wall and the other wall. Connect it. Okay, I'll stop it here because we need to draw the kids, right? Let me just finish up the kitchen first because I think that is a bit more important. And the handle. Oh, I don't think the handle will be visible actually because this is opening to the other side, right? So maybe like the locking thingy or whatever. Yeah. She's like checking and she's like, oh my God, where's the thing? In these kind of drawings, like sometimes some people might like do these thought bubbles where she's like wondering like, oh my God, where's the cookie jar? But try not to do that if it's, I missed this session in between. Oh, what session did you miss? Oh, this session. It's okay, we are recording it. The lighter background is also done with the same pencil. I mean, yeah, because 2B is a standard for dark and light, which is why people usually recommend you use 2B. And I like using 2B because from all the things that I've tried, it's personally worked for me. So see what works for you, but I just would recommend 2B because like see, according to grades, 2B is the standard. It is the best way to go. So even if you try it out for yourself, you might probably end up with the same opinion as me. So I'm just, why waste our time, right? Thanks. Pressure sensitivity. Yeah, I'm putting in a lot of pressure so that you guys can also see. Oh no, I think the page is flying off. You know, we have a tendency to like tilt the page towards our comfort. I do that at times, so if I do that by accident, just let me know. I'll just bring it back in front of the camera again. Okay. Okay. This is the chimney, by the way. And the lights, the protruding lights from the chimney. And then the little stand that I talked about. I'm gonna draw little hooks. Then I'm gonna put spoons and ladles and all that. The thing that we use to strain the tea and everything. Then I talked about plates. Certain plates which our mothers try to taste the food. You know, like while cooking they taste food, right? So like sometimes my mother used to have a habit of giving us the food so that we can taste test it. And so she would always have these tiny platters right next to the stove. All that we draw, all the elements that we add is like also coming from our own lives, right? So that's a very good tip that you can take up because most of what I draw is things that I have experienced or I see around. And I think that holds a lot more value. It builds a lot of value to the image rather than us just thinking about what should be there in a kitchen. Just think about what you have in your own kitchen because we all have standard kitchens. We would have our own personal things in the kitchen, like little things that only our kitchen has. Add it to the drawing. It's fun. It gives a sense of interest. Okay? Not just, oh, we need a refrigerator, we need a microwave, we need shelves, we need cooking stuff and all that. Some of you guys might have induction cookers. So I do induction cookers in my kitchen drawings because we used to have induction cookers at home. So like I was like, yeah, might as well just add them, right? Like add certain elements like that. Think about your own homes. If you're confused about elements, you're not confused. You're just not thinking. Just think about your own households. Oh yeah, right now I'm adding like the branding thing to the whatever it was. I forgot the name again. Who told me the name? Somebody told me the name.
Puttungutti.
Ah yeah, the Vottungutti. Yeah, so in my household, we had the sticker on, so I remembered that and I'm drawing it. See? That's an additional detail, right? It's very small, but people who notice it, which probably they will, they would get a sense of charm. They'd be like, "Oh, how cute!" And because it's a steaming thingy, there's steam coming out for detailing purposes. Okay. Then, oh, I think the perspective is a little off. Let me correct that. Okay. Try to correct your mistakes without using the eraser if possible, because that's a lot of waste of time. Just picking up the eraser will take us about 2 seconds or so, and even that is precious when it comes to design exams. That is why I recommended using light lines for the sketches, because we don't want to waste time erasing everything off, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's another counter. This is a counter. If you want, you can add like a cockroach walking past. I'm gonna add a cockroach. Because what are kitchens without cockroaches? Maybe she hasn't done the disinfecting thingy that mothers do about every month, right? To avoid cockroaches. Yep. So there you go. And there are these shelves in the bottom. Like the shelves in my kitchen kind of look like this, with the handles, very boxy handles. So that's why I'm drawing it like that. So as you can tell, I'm taking a lot of inspiration from my own kitchen, which is why I can fill it up with a lot of details. I wouldn't have been able to do this if I wasn't referencing my own home. So this is why people tell that you need to explore a lot of places. Go to places. If you're traveling, really observe your surroundings, because ultimately they're just gonna help you with your drawings in the future when you want to draw something like a kitchen, for example, that I'm doing right now. Then what else do I need to add? You know how some of them have like those timers for when they're baking and they want to keep track of the time? So I'll just put one timer over here, right next to the stove. Maybe the grabby thingy that they used to grab the food. I mean, sorry, the vessels, the hot vessels. Yeah, maybe that as well. And maybe she has like another holding thingy, which has hooks in it, and she has hung her mittens over here. So now you can tell that she's a baker, because she's got the timer thingy and she's got mittens, which I would guess people who usually bake would have. All right. Yeah. Now let's draw the kids. Okay. See that little detail that I added over here for the flooring has now made it seem like a room. Now you can be like, and if I add the wall over here as well. See? Like even that little line has a lot of importance. Okay. So I'm kind of nervous about the kids. Okay, so the kid, this little guy, since he's in front, I'm gonna draw him first. He's holding his cookie. He's got chubby cheeks. And yeah. And he's like wrapping his arms around the cookie jar because he cannot hold it just using his arms. I mean, sorry, his hands. He has a very long shirt because, like, have you noticed how little kids are given really long shirts because they grow into their clothes very quick? Yeah, so there are cookies in this jar. I'll just draw that like that. And he's like eating one of them. And there you go. And they've got really big trousers as well. And their legs are like really short. Like, that's it. Tiny. Maybe he has socks on because I'm too lazy to draw the toes. And they're so small anyways. Drawing died due to cuteness. Oh, he's so tiny. Okay. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna draw the second sibling. And maybe this can be Sarah, right? And Sarah, she knows if her mother's mad, it's bad. I rhymed. But so she's like looking over at him and she's like telling him like, silence, idiot, you're making a lot of noise. She's like shushing him, basically. And I would imagine she has like pigtails or something. Like that. She is looking over from here. She has a little skirt. Like that. Okay. Then he has a hand over the wall. This guy is like, maybe he was the one who initiated stealing the cookie jar, right? Now, what I will draw is the tiles because this place looks a bit like empty and boring. So I'm just gonna add tiles. Tiles, you know, when I add tiles, I'm doing it very lightly. Like I'm not putting much pressure because I don't want to draw too much attention into the ridges of the tiles, right? That's unnecessary. So I'll just add something like that. And that will do. Like that. And then this is basically composition. And when I talk about value, I did the shading last class. So I'm just gonna like very lightly do the shading. I'm not gonna put actual effort right now. I'm just putting down the value, okay? We'll decide on the lighting, the light source. So don't think I forgot about that because we can't shade without a light source. But right now we're just doing general value building so that we can have an idea as to how much darker we have to make the foreground compared to the background. So this is another way of kind of distinguishing things. Just add patterns to it. And this is not even a well thought of pattern. I'm just adding random dots and already you can kind of like be like, oh, so that just created a separation. Now you can identify and differentiate between her her dress and the rest of her. Okay. That. Then the mixer grinder also gets shading. The lines get lost in the shading, so after you're done with the shading, just go over some of the lines which are important or which got faded away because of the overall shading, and then just slightly go over them so that they're thumbnail sketch. Remember the thumbnail sketch? I did another set of shading for this. I just shaded completely. Don't worry if it goes over the mother as well. She could use a bit more darker shading if needed. Even for the floors, I'll give that same shade. And for this little part, maybe I'll just give it a bit more emphasis. Kind of like that. Okay? Like this. And for the refrigerator, like that. And once again, remember the lighting is from here. So we'll start shading. Like, make it darker here. Don't be afraid to be a bit more heavy-handed with the shading. But always remember that it should not stand out too much compared to the actual foreground characters. Like that. Not too much detail. I'm not doing a lot of detail in this kitchen. I just want to show that there's a kitchen and there's the shading and everything going on. And I want to show the steam again, so I'll just emphasize that more. A little bit of shading here and there. Shading to the handle. Oh, the spoon is getting missing. So is this glass. And the cooker is like not even there anymore, so I'll darken that up a bit. And like this. Right? Even the mixer grinder. Yeah. And then we have these guys. And then so that these kids stand out, I'll put some like pattern onto her shirt maybe. I'll shade the little trousers he's wearing. Maybe he also has like polka dot designs on it. And then I'll increase their outline. And obviously I need to give them shadows. So like kind of like that. See, my shadows are not that detailed, but as long as I have a shadow, it's good enough for evaluation. Like that. I'll just increase their outline a bit more so that they're visible. Like that. I can't do much shading to their faces, otherwise it will like disappear. So yeah, that's good enough. And this part of the thing should be dark as well. Alright guys, this is kind of the end of the process. Also, all of this is personal studies of anatomy when it comes to the people and perspective as well. Like live sketching, or even like I used to take my sister's biology book because she took a biology, I took a computer max. And I used to take a biology book and go through her skeletal system and everything because I liked it. I used to like anatomy. That is why I used to go so in depth on it, which contributed ultimately to the sketches I do. It's not perfect, but at least it looks like a human, right?
So my name is Devansh. I'm the founder of Divergent Classes. Hopefully आपको session काफ़ी अच्छा लगा होगा, and do let us know कि session कैसा था by commenting down below and liking this video. उसके अलावा let's understand how you can attend sessions like these for free. First of all, you have to visit divergentclasses.com and यहाँ पे you can explore and understand कि हम करते क्या हैं, what we stand for. To book a trial class, you can message me on WhatsApp or call me personally, and I'll guide you through the process. उसके अलावा there is another way to book a trial class. Just clicking on book trial class button and it will direct you to a form. इस फॉर्म को जस्ट आप फिल कर सकते हैं to book a trial class. Just typing in a full name, WhatsApp number, email ID, which exam are you preparing for, what difficulties are you facing, and when should we call you. And you can book a free call. Now you can explore the site and understand what we are doing. And for further information and better contact, you can always message me on WhatsApp and even call me personally.